Well, here it is, guys, after I've went ahead and bent these. I didn't get I don't know how much detail I showed on that. Let me just show you. I used my cutoff wheel on the 4.5-inch grinder, and I just cut into those a little bit. This is all of this angle iron is 3/8 inch steel, and this has all come from angle iron. I just used the plasma cutter to cut it off, so it's a little bit rough in back. I'll clean that up on the belt grinder, but I just used that to cut into it, you know, maybe halfway, and then heated that up, and you guys saw that on the video. The plan here is to bolt this, maybe get a bolt, and a bolt, 3 bolts here in the base of it, and then have 3 slats coming across. Essentially, the slats I want to, you know, essentially kind of equal these bars, the horizontal bars coming across the grill. I'm not going to worry about that section. Just going to run the bars this direction, and I'll paint all this green. And that's the idea. This came out really well as far as I'm concerned. It's very symmetrical. I wanted to make it so that you could still see the Oliver insignia on it, and I wanted it to have a slope. It's probably somewhat difficult to pick up on camera, but this is a little more narrow at the base than it is at the top. And then on the upper part, this isn't welded on, by the way. It will be, but it's not right now. I angled this out and then back in, and then of course flat on the top. And that was to kind of mimic what you see with the actual tractor itself. So again, I'm not sure how well that shows up on camera, but the bends turned out really good. If you take a look here, even those out, it's pretty much flush on this side, and then almost 100% flush on this side. So that's about as good as I could ask for. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld these up, and I'll probably get some shrinkage and that kind of thing, but again, this will flex, so I should still be able to get it welded in fine. Weld these up as well. Then I've got to weld this on. I need to drill those holes down there. I think we'll use 3/8 inch bolts. And I think what we'll do here is, because I'd like to box this in, I'd like to take a piece of steel and weld from here to here. I think we'll drill these holes into this, put the bolts on with the nuts on the side, weld the nuts underneath here. Then that will allow me to unbolt the actual grill guard, and I can just leave the bumper on. And the reason for that is, you know, the tractor, obviously my intention was to make the tractor really nice, and I don't know, taking it to a tractor show or something like that, and I might not want to have the grill guard on. Maybe I will. I think it's going to look actually really nice. But the bumper itself is real cool looking, and I won't have any problems keeping that on. But there's times when I'm not bush hogging and not worried about something hitting the front of this, that I might just want to loosen those 3 bolts and pull that whole grill guard off. So I'm going to bolt it on, and that at least gives me the option. I may never take it off. I may leave it on permanently. It may look really, really great, but that's the plan anyways. So let's get welding these up. I'll put you guys in time lapse for that, just because that's going to be kind of monotonous. And then I've got these bars already cut, but I do have some work to do on them to clean them up and make them look good. And I'll do that off camera. And here you can see I've just I've beveled these joints here so that I can get good penetration on my welds. And that's all I'm showing here is just what I've done. So see right here? So right there. That look about even. Yeah, looks about right, right? Showing up very well on camera, but now I've got the gap here closed. I had to use 2 clamps. Took a lot of force to get that little gap taken care of. So now I'm going to weld on the inside, and that'll set that. Now here I'm going to drill these 3 holes at the base of this, and this is so that I can bolt the grill onto the bumper itself and remove it when I want to. So here's the welded up grill, and you've seen on video I drilled these holes. I could have burned those with the plasma cutter, but I wanted smooth holes, and I wanted these pretty precise. These are 1/2 inch holes. My bolts are 7/16. So these are 1/2 inch. That gives me just a little bit of wiggle room to move that. And then over here, they're going to get bolted right to this. So what I've done, I think most of you have probably already figured this out. So I'm going to weld these nuts underneath here, and that way these nuts will stay captive. And then I'll cut me a piece of steel, and I'll weld it right here on the front of this, so that when stuff hits this front, it's just brushing off of it. So let's do that now. Let's get this welded, and then I'll cut a piece of steel that I can fit here. complete. I got a few weld boogers I got to get off of there, but I just welded these little triangular gussets in there just for, really not strength because it's way overbuilt as it is, but just to keep a lot of the trash from being able to get in there. I left a little weep hose at the very bottom of both sides. So this is the bottom, obviously. Let me see if I can flip this up. That's the top, obviously. That way that all that stuff isn't going in on the sides. And of course, now you see why I welded my nuts in there and didn't just, you know, snug them on with a wrench, because now I don't have access to those holes anymore. So there you have it. That is the finished product. And this is the finished grill. Hi, Bucky. Hi, buddy. I've got a huge mess in the shop now. Hi, Buck. You doing all right? It's too dirty in here for you, buddy. Yeah, it's too dirty. So next up is priming it. Well, I'll clean him, degrease him. I've used oil to drill some stuff and what have you. So I'll degrease them, clean them up, and then I've got to prime and paint. Here's the finished product now. And you see I've got some paint on it. Let me get it out so it's not, I've not got the light behind me here or in front of the camera. It turned out pretty good. Painted it Oliver green, of course, because it's going on that Oliver tractor. And then the grill, it turned out really, really nice. Super pleased with it. So now it's time to get them on the tractor. Well, the bumper's on. Got her bolted down. It looks pretty good. See it get you down just a bit lower angle. Try to keep that light out of my. Let's go with a different. Yeah. You see it. It's got a nice look to it. So you can see the bolts right inside there. She's bolted in. That's 3/8 inch steel. Oh, man, this thing. Oh. Whew. It's heavy. I would guess this thing is. Oh, I bet I increased its weight by 150 pounds probably. This whole thing probably weighs 150 if you were to add it all up. The bumper's a little heavier than this. These are 7/16 bolts and they're grade 8. I'm using a flat washer and a lock washer on them. Guys, well, the video kind of got cut off, but let's go ahead and show you the finished product here. I got light coming in from my barn, I apologize, all over the place. GoPro cameras are miserable when it comes to dealing with light. They just can't do it. So the grill turned out really good. You can see it tapers a little bit at the bottom and then widens a little bit at the top, just like the tractor grill does. So I wanted to mimic that. I used the horizontal bars only. I didn't put any vertical in there, and the reason for that is I want to still be able to see the waffle grill. It's pleasing aesthetically to me, and I want to be able to see that. I want to be able to see my Oliver insignia through that. And the reality of it is I'm not going to be running into a bunch of brush piles with this. It's not got a front end loader on it, so I'm not diving into stuff and lifting it up and having the risk of a big branch coming through that grill. That's not my concern. My concern really was more brush and the occasional sticks and fallen tree branches that are down in the fields that might try to hit it, you know, and that kind of thing. It's to give it that protection. But I think it turned out really good. I'm super pleased. I couldn't be happier with the way it turned out. So guys, if you like this kind of content, not just Oliver tractors, but I do a lot of vices. I do machinery in general. And then there's going to be a lot of aviation on this channel soon. And maybe I eventually go to aviation. I don't know, but I'm getting my pilot's license right now. And so I've got some video regarding flying and landing and just different aspects of getting your pilot's license that I'm working on right now. So if you haven't already, subscribe, like, hit that comment section and tell me what you think. I'd appreciate anybody's opinions on what they think. If it helped you out, let me know. I'm Chris with M7 Metalworks. Thanks for watching.